I'm here on the banks of the Thames in central London. I'm about to take you inside one of the world's most famous concert halls to find out why they chose the Yamaha CFX Concert Grand piano. Hello, Pierre-Laurent.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to be here with you on the stage of the Royal Festival Hall. I believe that this piano has been a particular favourite of yours. Can you tell us a little bit why this is such a special instrument to you?
The Yamaha brings a very interesting mix between richness of colours and high transparency, because Yamaha is so reliable in terms of clarity in all its registers, including the middle low registers that is sometimes in some instruments more melted.
How important is that connection between you and your instruments?
This partnership is crucial in our life, or at least in mine, and it decides on many things. The fact to accept a concert or not, to decide a program or not, and to choose an instrument or another one.
So what made you choose the Yamaha CFX today?
Tomorrow's program and project. This instrument was obviously in my mind, and this morning during the choice, the instrument that was the closest to this program and the most appropriate, that corresponded really to the requirements, the sound requirements of the different pieces. This instrument brings a kind of extreme fidelity in the rendition, the acoustic rendition, to what you try to produce.
Hello, Gillian. I'm delighted to be here with you. I'd like to ask you a little bit about your role here.
So I'm in a wonderful job here in this beautiful concert hall. We have, in fact, 3 concert halls. The Royal Festival Hall, this beautiful 1950s monument to the Festival of Britain and the post-war optimism. And then over there you can see the Queen Elizabeth Hall, which is a sort of mid-scale hall, and the Purcell Room, which is our little intimate space. So it's a wonderful playground for someone who loves music to programme some of the world's great artists.
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your vision for these piano recitals for the future?
There's something about particularly a piano recital, which is this, you know, you can even be in a vast space like the Festival Hall, which seats 2,500 people. And you can have a single pianist on a stage, which we're going to have tonight with Stephen Huff, and they can be communicating, this one person, this kind of dot in the middle of a stage with this beautiful big piano. They can be communicating with all of these people, just giving this very intimate experience to a huge room. The point is that the piano is really central to what we do here and fulfills so many different functions in a big multi-art form space that's open all year round.
Have you chosen that piano specifically because it can fill that space and yet have that clarity of sound that can carry right to the end, the far end of the hall, and bring that audience into that moment of performance?
Yes, that's the thing, because Yamaha's developing the technology of pianos all the time, and they're working closely with artists. So we have Pierre-Laurent Aimard in here today. He's one of our artists in residence, and this great French pianist, and he loves this Yamaha piano, and I believe he loves it because it's taking the piano into the 21st century. It's about filling big spaces. If we think of the piano of Beethoven's day, it was essentially, first of all, for domestic situations and then smaller concert halls. But here we are in an enormous 20th century concert hall, and we need instruments that are really going to carry to the back of the hall, but are also going to be able to work intimately with chamber music in smaller spaces, because we take these pianos into the Purcell room as well, which is 300 people, or the Queen Elizabeth Hall, which is 900. So the idea that this Yamaha piano can do all of these things and is developed in tandem with some of the world's great pianists, I think that's very exciting.
Hi Peter, what's your role here at the Southbank Centre?
I'm the senior concert piano technician. I look after the pianos in the Royal Festival Hall, Queen Elizabeth Hall and Purcell rooms.
When you're in the Yamaha selection room and you have all these instruments to choose from, what makes you go to one particular piano and say that's the one?
So with the Festival Hall, because of its size, you need a monster of a sized piano. Everything has to be huge. That takes time in developing it, but you need a piano that's actually got within it the capability to be a concerto piano in the Royal Festival Hall, and not every piano can fulfil that. It has to be a very specific instrument.
How would you describe this instrument?
It has a sustaining lyrical tone, for sure. It's a vocal piano, but within that it has enormous colour, and so at the same time as saying it's vocal, it's also, we lie to say that it's not orchestral. It has an orchestral format to it. And I've heard Pierre-Laurent play certain works which would give that as an example, where he's gone from one extreme to the other, more textural as in orchestral, and playing it as a solo lyrical line. I haven't heard anything you couldn't play on the CFX. You could go to Prokofiev, the exact opposite. And, well, Messiaen, that's pretty big. Messiaen's not exactly lyrical, but there are passages in it that are. So, but for me, Chopin and Mozart really work beautifully. They play right into its trump card.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Pleasure.